YouTube? Okie Storm Chaser here. I want to talk about knives today. After working with them for about a year, I can say, with all that experience, my favorite knives that I have ever used for basic household use. I'm not talking about in the professional kitchen, just for your everyday use. You need 4 knives, and all of them are made by Victorinox, the maker of the Swiss Army knife. You need a chef knife. You need a paring knife. You need a utility knife. And you need a boning knife. Now, I like to have multiple paring knives because I double up and use my paring knives as steak knives as well. I do not like serrated steak knives because they're a pain to keep sharp, and because they're a pain to keep sharp, they're more likely to cut, children especially, inexperienced knife wielders. I like the Victorinox knives because they are NSF rated, and that basically means they are certified to be used in the commercial kitchen environment. They have certain metrics that they have to meet in order to be certified, and these have to do with how easy it is to keep them clean, primarily. Where the knife goes into the handle, it's pretty much hermetically sealed so that bacteria cannot get up into the voids where you can't clean them. The materials used for the knives are easy to clean and do not hold bacteria. Wooden handled knives, there are really good wooden handled knives out there, but the standards that you have to have for cleaning them are different and a little more complicated than a plastic handled knife. Not all plastic handled knives are made the same either. Most of your knives you'll find in your big box stores are not NSF rated. They're made of inferior steels, and they're just all around not that good. And for just a little bit more money, you can get the Victorinox knives. Their paring knives are less than $10. Their utility knives are less than $20. Okay, their boning knives are, $20 to $30 depending on what size you get. Their chef knives, depending on what size you get, you might like some of the fancier ones that they have. But I think my chef knife was about $40. It might be a little less than that. I can't remember exactly. It's been about a year since I bought one. But they are good, decent quality steel. They're all stainless steel. Okay, so stainless steel is not as good as high carbon steel. However, stainless steel stands up to the rigors of heavy use in a kitchen environment. So the different acids you're going to expose the blade to, the different cleaning chemicals, depending on what you're dealing with. The blade's not going to corrode, it's not going to rust like it would if it were a high carbon steel. Now, stainless steel doesn't hold as good of an edge as high carbon steel, and you can't get it as sharp, but you can get it plenty sharp, trust me. And sharp knives are good knives, dull knives are dangerous knives. But there are varying qualities of stainless steel. It's like I said, the steels you're going to get at a big box store for a lot of those knives are inferior to the quality of stainless steel you're going to get for like a Victorinox knife. It also has to do with there's blade thickness, blade design, handle thickness, handle design. Ergonomics are a big thing too. And the guys at Victorinox, they really figured out the ergonomics for their knives. Just they're all around. They're the easiest knives. They're highly rated. They're the easiest knives to use. They are not the best knives in the world. However, they are the best knives for the money. And so that I very seriously, highly recommend them. Mora makes some good knives. They're good all-around utilitarian knives they make. Some kitchen knives, I do not have any of them. I know some people who do. I have used them a couple of times. They make good stuff as well. But they're not as comparable on price as the Victorinox. They don't compare on price to the Victorinox knives. Victorinox knives, you're not paying as much as you would for a good Mora kitchen knife. Now, for all-around utilitarian purposes, Mora makes better utilitarian knives, better outdoor knives for doing, the woodsman things or around the farm things or whatever. And not all knives are made, they're not all made equal. They're not all made for every single job. They have specific purposes and they're going to excel at different things. That's why you have different knives for different tasks in the kitchen. But you get a lot of people have these butcher blocks at home, and there's a lot of knives in there that they just don't know how to use. It's not always better to have options. Sometimes you just need to have a limited selection and know how to use what you have. You don't need all these other knives that have specialty things and you don't know how to use them. There's like a lot of people don't know how to use bread knives. They don't know how to use carving knives. You don't know how to use them, why spend the money on it when you can get better quality stuff and have just 4 basic types of knives instead of paying several $100s for it. And some of these knives are good knives, but you don't know how to use them, so why get them? Now, with that said, Victorinox makes all of these different specialty knives, and if you know how to use them and you need them, get the Victorinox carving knives or the Victorinox bread knives, etc. They have different size knives for different size hands, different preferences. And they've got chef knives that are a foot long. They've got chef knives that are 6 inches long. And it's like I've got, I think, an 8-inch, a 10-inch, and a 6-inch. And I use the 6-inch chef knife as my utility knife. It's just I prefer it. I have some of the other utility knives as well, but those aren't my go-tos. I basically have 4 different knives out of my collection that are my go-tos, and the rest of them just sit in a box. And every now and then they get used because, say, one of them's dirty or one of them's in the wash or whatever. But check out Victorinox knives. And you can get them on Amazon. I know Bass Pro, Cabela's, they sell them. Different restaurant supply places. There's one that's fairly local to me that sells them. Just kind of shop around. I know this time of year stuff's starting to go on sale at a lot of different places. And you can get yourself some good knives. Wusthof makes some decent knives. So, if you really want to put out some money and get a really high quality knife, Henkel is a brand I know of that makes some really good stuff. Mercer Culinary, their basic stuff is not so good, but they've got a mid-tier that's on par with Victorinox with quality. Their price is about the same. Last I remember, it's been a couple of years when I've dealt with them. And they're high. They've got a high tier, professional tier, whatever you want to call it, that's really good. So that's kind of my thoughts on knives today. I just wanted to put that out there. If you've got any questions, you just hit me up in the comments, and I'll see if I can answer them in another video. Until next time, y'all be good, or be good at it.